There, everybody. Good morning. It is Saturday, the 19th of June, 10:02 a.m., and we are in First Kings chapter 2. I knew chapter 2, so that made me say Second Kings. First Kings chapter number 2. We have decided to keep the narrative rolling forward from 1st and 2nd Samuel, and it continues now into 1st Kings. And Solomon is now the king. Today, actually, we're going to find the death of David. So we've been with David throughout the books of 1st and 2nd Samuel, and now we're going to see here in 1st Kings chapter number 2 that the Lord is going to take him home after a long and fruitful and prosperous life as a servant of God, the sweet psalmist of Israel. We're also going to see Adonijah try to take the throne yet again, and we're going to see Solomon decide to deal with all of the issues that his father had. He's going to handle the enemies of David. So, there's a long chapter ahead of us. It's a busy Saturday. We should pray and get things moving this morning. Father, we love you, and we ask your blessing on our reading and our study. Give us the mind of Christ. Give us wisdom, please. Help us to take from this chapter all that you'd have us learn. We ask it in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. 1 Kings chapter number 2. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, so as David knows he's not long for this earth and soon to be in heaven, he gets Solomon by his side and he gives him this admonition. Verse 2, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. David's saying, son, I'm going to be leaving you, and you're going to need to step up and do what it is the Lord requires of you to do. And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself. So show thyself a man. How are we going to do that, David? We're going to obey the commands of God, and we're going to walk in the ways of God. Verse 4, that the Lord may continue his word, which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel. Now, do we recall a time when there was no man for the throne of Israel? We absolutely do. And the time, like for instance, Joseph could have been a king, the stepfather of Jesus, Mary's husband, but he was not. Israel lost that, didn't they? Because the descendants of David failed to do the things that he's telling Solomon to do. Verse number 5. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab, the son of Zeruiah, did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the hosts of Israel, unto Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar head go down to the grave in peace, but show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai the Gileadite, and let them be of those that eat at thy table, for so they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy brother. And behold, thou hast with thee Shimei, the son of Gera, a Benjamite of Bahurim, which cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim. But he came down to meet me at Jordan, and I swear to him by the Lord, saying, I will not put thee to death with the sword. Now therefore hold him not guiltless. For thou art a wise man, and knowest what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his hoar head bring thou down to the grave with blood. So David here gives Solomon some advice. He says, hey, I want you to follow the word of the Lord as it was given to Moses, just as I did, so that we can get the same blessings throughout generations to come that God has allowed me to see. And then he says, I want you to deal with three people in particular. One is Joab. You know what Joab did, how in a time of peace he took the lives of Amasa and Abner. Deal with Joab. I want you to deal with Barzillai. He helped me when I was on the run from your brother Absalom. And then deal with Shimei. You know how he treated me. I said to Shimei I wouldn't kill him, but you deal with him. And he tells him about Joab and Shimei, deal with him with thy wisdom. And so we'll see what Solomon does as the chapter goes on. Verse number 10. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. So David is dead. Here it is. 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings chapter 1 and 2, and now we see David gone. Of course, if you know about the books of 1st and 2nd Chronicles, they're another perspective on the kingdom of David and Saul and all that transpired there. So one of these days, we will go back to that. I think we've done 29 books of the Bible so far. We've not done half by any means, because some of them are very short books. 1st, 2nd, 3rd John. We've done Nahum. We've done the book of Joel. So a lot of these are really short. And we still have books like Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel yet to cover. And so we'll get there in time, but 1st and 2nd Chronicles again deal with David, but it's much the same material as we've been covering. And so here in 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 10, David dies. And the days of that David reigned over Israel were 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 33 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And so here we've got David reigning 40 years. You know, when I look at the lifespans of service of pastors and evangelists and missionaries, that 40-year mark seems to be the significant marker in terms of longevity, how long men have served God. And they've stayed at the same church many times or on the mission field many times for that length of time. And David hits that 40-year mark there. All right, verse number 12. So then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and his kingdom was established greatly. Solomon now no longer under the shadow of his father, now that Solomon has passed. And Adonijah, the son of Haggith, came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, and she said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably. So if you remember in chapter number 1, Adonijah tried to steal the kingdom from Solomon and from David, just like Absalom did, and he was thwarted. So now we're going to see him try a backdoor technique. He comes to Bathsheba, and he says, hey, I need a favor from you. She says, are you coming peaceably? And he says, yes, peaceably. Now, you'll learn as we go through this, Bathsheba's a little bit of a naive lady. That's not a bad thing. In fact, looking at people as though they're well-intended is a good attribute to have. Optimism is a good attribute. But she's very naive here to the point where Adonijah is going to try to take advantage of her. Verse 14, he said, Moreover, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And she said, Say on. And he said, Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine, and that all Israel set their faces on me, that I should reign. Howbeit the kingdom is turned about, and has become my brother's, for it was his from the Lord. So Adonijah's kind of making a claim here that's not entirely accurate. He's saying, hey, the kingdom was all mine. I could have had it if I wanted it. But, the Lord decided he wanted Solomon to have it. And so, I let God have his way, which is really arrogant of Adonijah to say. Verse 16, And now I ask one petition of thee. Deny me not. And she said unto him, Say on. So after laying this groundwork of, I could have caused a lot more trouble for this family if I wanted to, but I didn't. And now I have one small favor I want to ask of you. Verse 17, And he said, Speak, I pray thee, unto Solomon the king, for he will not say thee nay, that he give me Abishag the Shunammite to wife. So, Remember Abishag, the lady in chapter 1 that was given to David to keep him warm and to minister unto him and to serve him. Adonijah wants Abishag now. And he says, I want you to ask Solomon if I can have her, because he won't tell you no. Verse number 18, and Bathsheba said, well, I will speak for thee unto the king. So what Adonijah is actually doing here is he's trying to perform this backdoor theft of the kingdom yet again. If the way Abishag is perceived, because she was the servant of King David, she's perceived almost as a concubine, pretty much a concubine, but they never had relations one with another. David and Abishag didn't. But for all intents and purposes, the gift of Abishag to David was to make her a concubine, and she served him. So if Adonijah can get David's concubine, number one, he's going to shame David in so doing. And number two, it's a way for him to take the kingdom. Do you remember when Absalom took David's concubines after David had fled Jerusalem? It was a way to take the authority from the king and make it your own. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, once a king died, his concubines were considered widows. They weren't to go with any other man. They were to stay a widow for the rest of their lives. And that's because they belonged to that one king, that one man. And so Adonijah here is trying to pull a dirty trick on Bathsheba and Solomon. So, verse 19, Bathsheba therefore went unto King Solomon to speak unto him for Adonijah. And the king rose up to meet her, and bowed himself unto her, and sat down on his throne, and caused a seat to be set for the king's mother, and she sat up on his right hand. Notice here that Solomon bows to Bathsheba. The king, as we said yesterday, bows to no one. But here he's showing due honor and respect to his mother. The Bible says, honor thy father and thy mother. And here he's doing that very thing. He's bowing to his mother. He brings in a special seat for her to sit upon. Verse 20. Then she said, I desire one small petition of thee. I pray thee, say me not nay. And the king said unto her, ask on, my mother, for I will not say thee nay. So Bathsheba's doing as Adonijah's asked. She doesn't know that he's up to no good. She thinks that this is just a way to maybe make him happy and to give him a little credit here on the side. Verse 21, and she said, let Abishag the Shunammite be given to Adonijah thy brother to wife. So that's the request that Adonijah had of Bathsheba to ask of Solomon. She asks it straight away. Verse 22, and King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, and why dost thou ask Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also? For he is mine elder brother, even for him and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. So Solomon's aware of what Adonijah's trying to do here. He knows that he's trying to trick her and him into allowing this to happen. And so he says, why do you ask for Adonijah? Are you asking the kingdom for him also? And then he knows that Joab and Abiathar are not his friends, so he throws them in there too. Verse 23, then King Solomon sware by the Lord, saying, God do so to me, and more also, if Adonijah have not spoken this word against his own life. So Solomon is saying, you know what? I put my life on the line to say that that Adonijah is the one who's behind all this. And he's not wrong, is he? Verse 24, now therefore, as the Lord liveth, which hath established me, and set me on the throne of David my father, and who hath made me an house, as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death this day. And King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and he fell upon him that he died. So Solomon just kills Adonijah. You know, Adonijah had one chance, and he was given mercy by Solomon. And now he's trying this dirty trick. And Adonijah thinks he's going to get away with it because he thinks that if Bathsheba asks, it'll all be fine. No, Solomon has Adonijah put to death. So now Amnon is dead by the hand of Absalom. Absalom is dead by the hand of Joab. And then Adonijah is dead by the hand of Solomon. Remember when God told David, the sword will never depart out of thy house. These guys are all killing each other, and it's terrible. Verse number 26. So, Adonijah's dead. We got a couple more people to deal with, as we saw, given instruction to Solomon by David. Verse 26. And unto Abiathar the priest said the king, Get thee to Anathoth, unto thine own fields, for thou art worthy of death. But I will not at this time put thee to death, because thou bearest the ark of the Lord God before David my father, and because thou hast been afflicted in all wherein my father was afflicted. And so, Abiathar deserves to die. Solomon says, I'm granting you some mercy. Get out of here. Get back to your hometown. I will not slay you because you're a priest of the Lord who bore the ark for my father David. And you did go through a lot that he went through that you wouldn't have gone through if you weren't loyal to him to some degree. I'm granting you some mercy. Verse 27. So Solomon thrust out Abiathar from being priest unto the Lord, that he might fulfill the word of the Lord, which he spake concerning the house of Eli in Shiloh. And so he's removed from his priestly duties, and he's sent away. Verse 28. Then tidings came to Joab, for Joab had turned after Adonijah, though he turned not after Absalom. And Joab fled unto the tabernacle of the Lord and caught hold on the horns of the altar. So somebody gets to Joab and says, hey, Solomon's cleaning house. He just killed Adonijah, and he just sent Abiathar home and stripped him of his priesthood. You know he's coming after you. And Joab said, yeah, that's right. I didn't follow Absalom. I stayed loyal to David, but when Adonijah tried to revolt against Solomon, I tried to back him. And so he goes to the altar and he holds the horns of the altar, just like Adonijah did. Remember that? Adonijah holds the horns of the altar and Solomon grants him mercy. So Joab's hoping that the same will be done for him. Verse 29, And it was told King Solomon that Joab was fled unto the tabernacle of the Lord, and behold, he is by the altar. Then Solomon sent Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, saying, Go, fall upon him. So Benaiah sent to take out Joab. He's the one who took out Adonijah. And then verse 30, Benaiah came to the tabernacle of the Lord and said unto him, Thus saith the king, Come forth. And he said, Nay, but I will die here. So Joab, hey, Benaiah says, Come here, Joab, you're done. Come on, let go of the altar. And Joab says, No, you'll have to kill me here, holding the horns of the altar. And Benaiah brought the king word again, saying, Thus said Joab, and thus he answered me. So, hey, king, he's at the altar. He's holding the horns. I told him to let go so I could kill him. He won't let go. What do you want me to do? Verse 31, The king said unto him, Do as he hath said, and fall upon him, and bury him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood which Joab shed from me, and from the house of my father. And so he tells Abiathar, Go ahead and kill him then. If he won't let go of the horns of the altar, kill him holding the horns of the altar. And so Abiathar's going to do that. Verse 32, And the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon 2 men more righteous and better than he, and slew them with the sword, my father David not knowing thereof, to wit, Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amasa, the son of Jether, captain of the host of Judah. If you remember, Joab killing Amasa, the brother of Abner, and then also Abner himself, real stealthily, without their expectation. He takes them out because of the issues that were being had with David. And so Solomon says they're going to die because he spilt innocent blood that my father didn't want spilled. Verse 33, Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David and upon his seed and upon his house and upon his throne shall there be peace forever from the Lord. So Benaiah the son of Jehoiada went up and fell upon him and slew him, and he was buried in his own house in the wilderness. And the king put Benaiah the son of Jehoiada in his room over the host, and Zadok the priest did the king put in the room of Abiathar. So far what's happened here? Adonijah killed. Abiathar stripped from his priesthood, sent home. Then Joab killed. Benaiah is the one who killed Adonijah and Joab, and so Solomon makes him the captain of the host. He gives him Joab's job. And then Zadok, he gives Zadok the job of Abiathar the priest. Verse 36. It's a long chapter, isn't it? 20 minutes in already. We're wrapping it up. And the king sent and called for Shimei. So one more guy to deal with. Remember Shimei? The guy throwing rocks and dirt at David, cussing him. David said, I won't kill you. So here's the story with Shimei. And he said unto him, Build thee an house in Jerusalem, and dwell there, and go not forth thence any whither. For it shall be that on the day that thou goest out and passest over the brook Kidron, thou shalt know for certain that thou shalt surely die. Thy blood shall be upon thine own head. And Shimei said unto the king, The saying is good. As my lord the king hath said, so will thy servant do. And Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days. So Solomon's giving Shimei some mercy here. Remember, David said, use your wisdom. So Solomon says, build a house in Jerusalem, stay here, don't leave the city. If you cross the brook Kidron, there's going to be a problem. And Shimei's grateful. Okay, and he builds the house, and he stays there, what we're told, many days. Verse 39. And it came to pass at the end of 3 years, that 2 of the servants of Shimei ran away unto Achish, son of Maacah, king of Gath. And they told Shimei, saying, Behold, thy servants be in Gath. So Shimei has 2 servants escape and leave him, and now they're across the river and they're in Gath. What is Shimei going to do about it? Verse 40, he arose, saddled his ass, and went to Gath, to Achish, to seek his servants. And Shimei went and brought his servants from Gath. And it was told Solomon that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and was come again. And the king sent and called for Shimei and said unto him, Did I not make thee to swear by the Lord, and protested unto thee, saying, Know for a certain, on the day thou goest out, and walkest abroad any whither, that thou shalt surely die? And thou saidst unto me, Thy word have I heard is good. Why then hast thou not kept the oath of the Lord, and the commandment that I have charged thee with? So Shimei, didn't we make an agreement you weren't going to leave? And we said that if you leave, you're going to die. Well, guess what? I've heard that you left. Verse 44, the king said moreover to Shimei, Thou knowest all the wickedness which thine heart is privy to, that thou didst to my father. Therefore the Lord shall return thy wickedness upon thine own head. And King Solomon shall be blessed, and the throne of David shall be established before the Lord forever. So the king commanded Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, which went out, and fell upon him that he died. And the kingdom was established in the hand of Solomon. And so Solomon orders the death of Shimei because he just couldn't stay put and do as he was told. So 3 enemies of David taken out there in that chapter, enemies of Solomon. We've got Adonijah taken out. We've got Joab taken out. We've got Shimei taken out. The only one allowed to live was Abiathar. He was stripped of his priesthood, sent packing to live in his own city, and in their places Benaiah takes the job of Joab as captain of the host, 4-star general, and then we've got Zadok who's taking the priesthood from Abiathar. Solomon is establishing his own new kingdom. All right, there it is. 24 minutes here for chapter number 2. Things are getting exciting, huh? Oh, and we forgot, David died. So rest in peace, King David. We'll see him someday in heaven, won't we? All right, I'm going to let you go. You got a busy Saturday, as do we. If you're local, At 5 o'clock this afternoon, we're having our beginning of summer bash at our house, 7506 East Atherton Road in Davison. We're just near the intersection of Atherton and Irish Road. You're welcome to come. Please bring a side dish to pass and bring a 2-liter of something to drink, and also bring a lawn chair to sit in. You're going to want to have that and do that as well, all right? Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, we'll be ready to go again. Have a great Saturday.